Recasters is a weekly anime podcast covering currently airing seasonal anime. If you like to follow weekly releases and hear discussions about it, you're in the right place.
If you enjoy series reviews and previews, then be warned.
Spoiler City straight ahead.
Hello, and welcome back to Recasters, the only anime podcast where after trying to cut each other's clothes off with scissor blades, we realized that the power of friendship was stronger than our clothes all along. My name is Jason Robinson, and I'm joined here today by my co-host, Jesse Winter.
Damn, why you have to cut my Gucci up like that?
And my other co-host, that's right, and my other co-host, Chip Harris.
Clothes don't matter when I believe in the heart of the cards.
All right, welcome everyone to another episode of Recasters, where Chip has returned to us.
From the deep, dark depths, he has forged a path through something or another.
Yep, that's right. It's me, your boy.
Chip, how you doing? How was being in the void for 6 months? 6 months? 9 months? How long was he out? 9 months.
It was a while. It was tough.
Was the void cold?
Yes.
Was it dark?
It was. Yes, absolutely.
Is my cat meowing?
No, there's some kids yelling.
Oh, okay, cool. I don't care about that. I just want to make sure my cat's okay.
Did you find all the lost blockbusters in the void?
I did, actually. Okay, and let me tell you, they're not doing so hot there either. They're about to close down shop again.
It's so sad. Blockbusters was so unsuccessful that even in the void, they're shutting down. Dude, I saw a guy, I had a customer come in the other day. He was wearing a Blockbuster snapback, and I was like, hey, I like your hat. And he was like, thanks. I got it from the last Blockbuster. I was like, what?
Wow.
He's like, yeah, the last Blockbuster's in like Oregon or something. I went there on vacation. Like, you can still go. There's one Blockbuster that you can go to, and their whole thing is around the fact that they are the last Blockbuster.
That's incredible, dude. Well, I'll tell you what, though. I've got the second best thing in my neighborhood. We have a new store that opened up, and they got a little corner where a guy bought some stuff from Blockbuster before it closed down and made a little Blockbuster corner with the sign and everything.
Whoa.
So I got a little piece of Blockbuster in my town now.
Nice.
Do they have those snapbacks? Because I really want one.
No. They just got some dingy VHS. Ugh.
So this week's our bonus episode. As per usual, between seasons, we're going to be talking about some random thing today. We're going to talk about something that we've decided to talk about that we'll reveal in a while.
Completely unorthodox, completely random, absolutely definitely not planned beforehand.
It was it was as close as random as you can get for planned.
Yeah, honestly though, really.
I'll tell the whole story in a little bit here. If you've read the title, then you already know what we're talking about. If you haven't read the title,
Impressive.
this is you're about as blind as I was going into this movie. So
Look, to be honest, even if you did read the title, you're going to know what we're talking about, but beyond that, you're not going to know what we're talking about.
yeah,
I guarantee you haven't seen this movie.
Dude, that's not true. This is a very popular movie.
Oh, it was? See, I don't even know anything about this movie, so I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, this is like one of the most critically acclaimed anime mangaka director artists, whatever you call him.
Yeah.
A famous guy made it. That's what
Yeah.
you're telling me.
The famous guy. But before we get into that, this is the part of the podcast where we talk about anything and everything that interests us. If you're just here for the reviews, timestamps for everything we talk about are going to be in the description below. Honestly, it's a bonus episode. If you're just here for the review on this one random movie, I don't know what you're even listening for. I get it if you're here for weekly reviews, right? But this is just it's an anime movie. You find the reviews for this everywhere. Please just keep listening. This is not to dissuade you. Don't turn it off at this point, please. I'm sorry. I apologize. Come back to me.
Oh, Jesus.
Baby, don't hurt me.
So I've been reading some manga lately.
Which ones?
So the audience already knows this, but as far as I understand, you haven't listened to 0 episodes of Recasters since you stopped participating in Recasters.
I listened to one.
Oh, which one?
Very impressive.
It was a long time ago because it was one of the ones we recorded a long time ago because I decided I was going to listen to every episode of Recasters. So it's nowhere near whatever you're about to talk about.
Okay, so you listened to absolutely none of the episodes that we recorded while you were gone.
Right.
Okay, cool.
So basically, he's caught up on all the lore.
I'm glad you gave up on your dreams so quickly when you were like, yeah, I'm going to listen to all of them, and you listened to one episode.
It's difficult because they're long and I can't listen to them all in one sitting. Yeah.
Jeez, I think
Wow.
Look, all I'm saying is so far for anybody who hasn't listened to our podcast before, we're not giving them a lot of reason to stick around with that endorsement and the thing I said earlier. Like, so I've been reading 2 mangas. The audience already knows about both of these mangas, but Chip doesn't. And they're both things that he loves very dearly. So I figured I'd bring them back up again so I can get some of his opinions. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about here, I am 49 chapters into Tokyo Ghoul.
Impossible.
Whoa! Oh my god.
On a less impressive note, I'm about 9 chapters into Tokyo Ghoul.
Oh, you started reading Tokyo Ghoul?
Yeah, buddy.
Ah!
So our friend Teresa, I had watched a few episodes of Tokyo Ghoul back in the day with her. We watched 5 episodes.
Yeah.
I think I still haven't gotten to where the 5 episodes ends because the pacing in the anime is so much worse than in the manga.
True facts.
Oh, Jesus.
They adapt roughly 7 chapters per episode, which is like ridiculously high.
Yeah, actually, that's
That's crazy.
So, yeah, I'm 49 chapters in, and I think I'm like just getting to where we ended. We watched like 5 or 6, right? But I have seen Jason 0 times, and I remember seeing him in the anime.
Yeah,
Jason.
I want to say that he shows up. He either shows up like kind of early on, like episode 4, or he shows up at like episode 6. But I don't remember because it's been a long time since I've seen season 1.
Dude, I got to be getting there. I got to be getting like close to it.
Yeah, probably.
Jesse, what's happened so far for you?
Let's see. Main guy turned into a half ghoul.
Wow.
The guy who runs the clubs was a ghoul who tried to fight him up. He tried to kill the main guy and the main guy's buddy. And now main dude is half homies with the tsundere ghoul girl who works at the cafe with him.
I don't remember anything you were talking about a club.
Oh, the main dude's friend. He's helping run clubs. Like the festival.
School clubs.
Yeah, school clubs.
Dude, I was thinking like dancing clubs.
Yeah, so they went clubbing, and while they were clubbing...
I mean, they are 18.
Are they?
They're in college.
Yeah, they're in college.
Oh, shit.
and
That's right. They are, huh?
That's
Right?
something that always like got me because like Kaneki and Hide are like so much shorter than a bunch of other characters who are like actually perceived as adults.
They also just look like shonen protagonists.
So that's the thing that like Tokyo Ghoul actually isn't a shonen, it's a seinen.
Makes sense.
But it's like as close as you can get to a shonen being a seinen. You know what I mean?
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
It's like show me Tokyo Ghoul and stack it next to Chainsaw Man, and I'm confused.
Yeah. Right.
Because Chainsaw Man is a shonen, and it definitely shouldn't be.
Well, to be fair, and I don't know. Spoiler, I guess, if you're concerned about it at all. Within the first like chapter, somebody gets a large steel beam dropped on their head. So
Of Tokyo Ghoul, yeah.
yeah. So I don't know. It's kind of up there with Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, I mean that happens like less than halfway through the first episode of the anime. So
True.
Not impressive, seeing as it's about 7 chapters worth in that first episode.
I'm pretty sure, classic style, it's probably like 1 chapter for the first episode. They often do that because first chapters are usually a lot longer than the other chapters.
Good point. Fair enough.
I'm enjoying it a lot so far. It's a bit of a slow burn. Like, it's starting to ramp up for sure, but Kaneki's still kind of a bitch where I'm at, so I hear he unbitches later.
yeah, so yeah, I don't want to tell you when he does, but yeah, he I don't want to tell you when he does, but he definitely unbench it. Fuck. I don't want to tell you when he does, but he definitely unbitches at some point.
Dude, I gotta be honest. He has already unbitched more than Mirai has in half a season of an anime. Like, worlds and bounds more unbitching than this guy.
And Chip, you're not even caught up on Platinum End. Just so you know, Mirai doesn't get better.
Yeah, if you don't like
man.
Mirai, you are going to continue to struggle like I do.
Oh my god, this guy. No.
Chip's like 8 episodes in.
Luckily, everybody else gets better, so...
Yeah, it's guess it's one of those shows where the main character is not really the main character.
I mean, yeah, that's
Or are
almost
they?
true. But
No, it's really pretty true
I
though.
think Saki's basically the main character.
Yeah, I mean, even Cancer Guy is more of the main character.
Mukaido.
Mukaido, yeah.
Mukaido-san!
Anyways, yeah. So for Tokyo Ghoul, I binged a bunch last night. I read almost 20 chapters, which is probably not a bunch for some people who just fly through it. But I'm a slow reader.
Hey,
Give me
that's
a
a pretty
break.
good size. I mean, they're like 19-page chapters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that I know Jesse is reading it, I'm not gonna spoil much, but I will say like I'm probably like maybe if we want to call them arcs, probably like 2 arcs in or whatever, 2-3 arcs.
Okay.
And shit does go down. It's really interesting. You learn a lot about the doves.
The doves.
Yeah, you don't know the doves yet?
I don't know if I know the doves or not.
9 chapters in, you're not going to hear about the doves. I don't think you even hear them mentioned until episode 3.
Oh, you know what? I do know there are some like cop dudes who
Yeah.
are hunting ghouls. Are those the doves?
Yeah, dove is the slang word for them.
Oh, okay. So I know a little bit about them. I saw them kill a ghoul and they're like walking through an alley and they're like, I sense more ghouls.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, it's real good though. Like I can't wait to get farther because like I started getting a little burnt for a while where I was like, I feel like more needs to happen, but every single thing that happens feels like it's ramping up to something bigger later.
I could agree with that, definitely. Yeah. I don't feel like there's really been any wasted space even this early into the manga.
Man, yeah, there's some stuff that so without spoiling it for Jesse, I just finished reading some of the stuff with the gourmet.
Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. They actually left his entire arc out of the movie because there's there's a live action Tokyo Ghoul movie and it's not too bad, but it covers the first 12 episodes of the anime, but it leaves out the gourmet arc.
Interesting.
Knowing what I know about this manga so far, I can only imagine how savage Gourmet may be.
There's some fucked stuff that happens.
Damn.
Oh my gosh. You think this is fucked? Just wait. Oh my god.
Let me just tell you, I'm not going to spoil anything. But I will tell you, if a restaurant ever tells you to shower before your meal, something is wrong.
Yes. Yes. I'd like to throw reference to a certain event that I'm not actually going to mention on here. Just think about that for a second.
So the other manga I've been reading,
What is it?
something else that you fucking love. All right? I didn't do this on purpose. I did not line up the 2 manga that I was reading with Chip's 2 favorite anime series on purpose. But the other manga that I've been reading is Black Clover.
Bruh, Black Clover is so good.
I think that I can confidently say that those are like 2 of your favorite anime.
Yeah, they're 2 of my favorites, I would definitely say. I mean, like, I don't know exactly where they rank. Tokyo Ghoul is absolutely in top 5 for sure, but yeah, no, those are great. Those are both great animes.
Would you put Black Clover in your top 10?
Maybe?
Because Japan wouldn't.
Oh, oof.
The yearly Japanese rankings for manga came out. And can I tell you something wild?
Yes.
Sure.
One Piece wasn't in the top 5.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So
Jeez.
for the last 20 or so years, One Piece has been knocked out of first place into second place very, very few times. It happened in 2019 or 2020 with Demon Slayer beating it out, One Piece being ranked number 2. And Demon Slayer wasn't even number 1 this last year.
What?
What was number 1?
Number 1 was Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yo.
Yeah, I feel like I knew that, to be honest.
And number 2 was Tokyo Revengers.
What the fuck?
Hell yeah,
no
man.
way.
Dude,
Damn.
people have been ragging on Tokyo Revengers on the internet, but then they turn around and suddenly it's like the number 2 anime, so.
Dude, that's crazy. Like, Tokyo Revengers, I feel like when the anime dropped, it started kind of underground, and then it ramped up a bit, and now it's just exploded.
Right, and you know what's wild? You know, I work in an anime store. We have 0 Tokyo Revengers merch, and as far as I can tell, official Tokyo Revengers merch doesn't exist. I can't find any.
What the fuck?
Hot Topic doesn't sell any, and that's how you know it's hard to find.
Well, let me throw this out there. There's the manji symbol that the anime uses in Japan.
Yeah,
and it's littered all over everything in the show. So if there was a merch drop, there'd be some serious marketing issues.
Okay, so the top 10 rankings. Before I talk about Black Clover, apparently.
Yeah.
Number 1, Jujutsu Kaisen. Number 2, Demon Slayer. Number 3, Tokyo Revengers. Number 4, Attack on Titan. Number 5, My Hero Academia. Number 6, One Piece.
God damn.
Jeez.
7, we got Chainsaw Man.
Okay, yeah.
8, we got Spy X Family.
A lot of people hype for that.
9, we got Kingdom.
Oh, yeah, that's an old school one.
And 10, we got Haikyuu.
Whoa, Haikyuu coming back. What the fuck? Haikyuu relevant again.
The difference between number 4 and number 3 are insane. Usually One Piece is in number 1 by a large margin.
Mm-hmm.
And usually the top 5 are very, very different from the top 6 through 10, right?
Yeah.
And this is still like relatively true, except it's top 4 instead. It's just crazy that One Piece fell to the lower end. Because we're looking at 30 million copies sold for Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
And we're looking at 7 million for One Piece.
Holy fuck.
That's a pretty big margin there.
So Jujutsu Kaisen 30 million, Demon Slayer 29 million, Tokyo Revengers 24 million, and then it jumps down to 7.3 mil for Attack on Titan.
Holy crap.
7 mil for My Hero, and My Hero only sold like 18,000 more copies than One Piece. So One Piece was almost in the top 5.
Oh my goodness. Dude, what do you think made Jujutsu Kaisen so explosive? Like that season's been over for a couple seasons now, and now it's blowing up.
And this is manga sales.
Yeah.
It's because the movie came out recently.
Oh, did the movie come out?
Yeah,
Only in Japan, but it came out.
Okay.
I think on Christmas Eve.
Oh, that explains it. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense then.
Yeah, I remember reading something on one of the Facebook pages. Sales for Jujutsu Kaisen exploded up to like 20 million after that movie came out, and then I mean it's been like a couple weeks since I saw that, so it makes sense that it's at 30 million now.
No,
Yeah.
but I will say this: these rankings were released late November. December hadn't even happened yet.
Oh shit.
Holy
then
crap.
I really don't get it.
Yeah,
That's maybe people were gearing up for the movie. That's probably what it was.
that could be. Yeah,
Yeah,
or maybe they just love it. I know there's a lot of marketing stuff. You will start see like candy and stuff with Jujutsu Kaisen characters.
Oh yeah,
on
that's
it.
true. Yeah, and even here in the States, I've noticed a lot more Jujutsu Kaisen things. Just random stuff. I'll just see people wearing Jujutsu Kaisen hoodies just all over the place.
Right, and then just immediately know they have good taste.
Yeah. They're a fellow person of culture.
Jujutsu Kaisen is absolutely like probably one of my top 5 favorite animes, to be honest.
It is my number 1 favorite anime.
It is so good.
Okay.
I'm so surprised by how great it ended up being.
Jujutsu Kaisen might be the next Jojo.
I don't know what you mean by that, but I have to disagree.
That's unfortunate.
Adam
doesn't want to see the success of Jujutsu Kaisen. He hopes it crashes and burns.
Whatever you mean by that statement, it is wrong, and I disagree with you.
I don't know. What about the guy they didn't want to look at his back? That guy? How about that? Oh. Class 1 example right there.
Wow. In 24 episodes, they had one thing that references something from JoJo Part 4. Incredible.
Yeah, at least one thing.
Get out of here. Hey, did you know that Platinum End is the next JoJo?
No, not at all. It's a garbage show with a terrible main character. I mean, look at Miura. He's an absolute joke compared to any of the Joestars.
Oh my God. You're right, but oh my God. So in this section that I'm talking about, Black Clover,
Finally.
I would just like to say, in the modern era, I consider the big 4 battle shonens to be My Hero Academia, Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Black Clover.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I feel like Black Clover feels the same way that Fairy Tail felt to the big 3, right? It had a big following, but it wasn't quite as big as the big 3.
Yeah.
Right.
It's almost like a cult classic, right? It's the second stage. It's for people who are new to anime, but they're not Naruto new to anime.
Oh, don't get me started on that. But seeing that Black Clover wasn't even in the top 10 this last year was so surprising to me because of how popular it is. Like, it genuinely is. But, I mean, just not as popular as those other 10. Like,
Yeah.
you heard what they were. Except for maybe Kingdom. I have never heard of about any of the big shonen people talking about Kingdom. Kingdom's very popular.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know, Kingdom, Claymore, stuff like that. You know, it's like up there with Berserk.
Yeah.
Being those like big dark fantasy shows or manga. Yeah, interesting. But
Also
Black Clover, I'm hoping you're number 11, buddy.
Yeah.
I just hit chapter 81 in Black Clover. Are you pulling up a meme right now?
Yeah, no, I pulled up a meme because I specifically saved it because it made reference to different eras of the big three. So,
Oh, can I see it real quick?
yeah, sure.
Let me read this aloud. The big three in the 90s: Yu Yu Hakusho, Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, fairly accurate.
I can agree to that. The big three in the late 2000s: One Piece, Bleach, Naruto. Also true.
Yeah.
Became the big three thanks to Adult Swim: Attack on Titan, Hunter x Hunter, and Full Metal Alchemist.
Can't disagree with that.
The big three now. This has Deku. It's got Tanjiro and Asta.
Wait a second.
And unfortunately, Chip, I disagree with this meme because Jujutsu Kaisen is more popular
Yeah,
Than anything.
than Black Clover.
I-
Than anything. Yeah, it's number one, dude. Number fucking one.
Yeah, so I mean, I didn't 100% agree with this, but I felt it was pretty accurate when I saved it, which was a while ago. I don't even remember. It was it was like last year sometime.
How'd you all like our meme review?
I give it a solid 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. I don't know how meme review. I've never watched PewDiePie.
Next meme.
Anyways, Black Clover is pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyone got anything next? Just kidding. So I just got to the Witch's Forest.
Ooh.
I hear it gets really, really good in the arc after the Witch's Forest.
I can't remember exactly what arc that is, but yeah, absolutely. Remember, guys, I watched this show as it was coming out weekly, like for the entire time that it was coming out.
Who's your favorite character?
Oh gosh, it's also been a while since I watched it because they stopped airing the anime like months ago.
Chip has forgotten everything about Black Clover
Pretty
in the 6 months that they stopped showing it.
Pretty much. Asta definitely came up to be probably one of my top 5 characters in the show, but
Out of like the 10 characters in the show, or
dude, there's 30 characters.
Yeah, there's actually
at
so
least.
many characters.
I'd say right now probably my favorite character is Noelle.
I really like Noelle. Yeah,
Yeah, she's awesome,
she's tsundere Sakura.
Nice.
but she's like better and super useful. You know,
Nice.
I really like what they do with her because in Black Clover, their Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura characters are Asta being the Naruto character, but instead of being annoying, he's motivated and annoying. So instead of like kind of being an asshole to everyone and being annoying about it, he's just like really, really motivated and yells a lot.
Relatable.
And then Yuno, who is the Sasuke character, except here's the difference: also not an asshole.
What the fuck?
I don't know about that.
Oh, you know what? Okay, actually, I watched the anime a little bit, right? I probably watched like 15 episodes of the anime.
Yeah,
They make him a way bigger dick in the anime than he was in the manga.
yeah,
Damn.
he's a total asshole in the anime, but like in an sort of an endearing. No, it's not even endearing. There's at some point in the anime though, he is more of a I'm encouraging you by kind of taunting you in that rival kind of way kind of deal.
Yeah, and you get a little bit of that in the manga too, but mostly in the manga, he's like kind of apathetic and like stone-faced, right? And
Okay.
he says things to Asta that like, there's an airplane. He says things to Asta where it's like, you know, he points out his flaws or calls him an idiot and stuff like that, but it's mostly because they grew up together. They're basically brothers, right?
Yeah.
But in the show, they made him like distant and cold. I was like,
Oh.
this is not correct.
Hmm.
Like, and then they added like Black Clover has very little filler, but all of the filler that they do have kind of makes Yuno a bigger dick. I was like,
Oh
come on,
no.
dude. So from my experience of Yuno, I like him a lot. He's really, really good at everything, and he has black hair, just like Sasuke.
Yeah.
Only he's literally like Asta's adopted brother. So they have like a brother rivalry going on.
Okay.
and he stands up for him all the time. Like anytime anyone talks shit, like Asta can stand up for himself, and he does. But anytime anybody talks shit about him around Yuno, then Yuno's like, "You want to fucking die? You trying to throw down?"
Dude, that's got to be one of my favorite rival characters.
Right? He's basically like, this guy is my rival. We are rivals because we're on par with each other. You talking shit about him, you talking shit about me, all right? They're like, wow, you're so strong, but that Asta guy sucks. And he's like, the fuck did you just say about me? And then how the three characters in Naruto, they stick together for a little while. Pretty much, they go into different brigades very early.
Oh.
And then Noelle joins up with Asta's brigade.
Okay.
And Noelle, she's a royal, she's a noble, she's stuck up, but she can't control her power. She has immense power that she can't control.
Oof.
And then very quickly falls in love with Asta and continues to be stuck up while also loving Asta, and it's fucking adorable. Like,
nice.
I love it so much. She's a great character.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything that has to do with Noelle, because like she is my favorite character in that show probably, and it's character development really great on all fronts.
Nice. Dude, in the Sea Temple arc, the final fight in that arc is so good. There's like, so they pair three characters together. It's Finral, who can open portals. It's Vanessa, who can like move, like she has like the movement magic, right?
She's got the string magic.
Oh, string, yeah. So she can like pull things with strings.
Oh.
And then Asta, who had like lost use of his arms during that, so they started throwing him through portals at the bad guy, and it was fucking awesome. Like, I know it might sound funny, but like they were like, all three of them on their own were getting kicked, like their asses handed to them by this bad guy.
Yeah.
And then they started working together like that, and it looked so cool. It was drawn so well.
That sounds super dope.
And he was like, "What the fuck? How can you beat me like this?" And they were like, "But we're friendship, bitch. This is shonen." Anyways, I really like Black Clover.
Black Clover, absolutely awesome. Anytime they have fights where there's like more than a couple characters working together, it gets just so fucking badass.
Hell yeah. Now, Chip.
Yeah.
We talked about something a lot while you were gone also.
What was it?
It's JoJo's Bizarre Adventures.
Jojo.
Why do you always do this?
I don't know.
Well, I can't argue with that. Chip, you love JoJo's Bizarre Adventures.
I do love JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, and I'm really excited that part 6 is out. I kind of hate that it's Netflix exclusive right now, but it's still awesome.
So, from my understanding, they dropped 12 episodes, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to drop another 12 episodes when?
I have no clue. I was actually going to ask you about that. I was going to ask if there was going to be a part 6, part 2. Like 12 more episodes of part 6, because I feel like 12 episodes ain't enough for a JoJo.
No,
part.
it's not. Let me tell you what I told Jesse, because I heard this once and have never looked into it.
All right.
They dropped 12 episodes, and then they're going to drop another 12, and then another 12 after that. And I don't know if it's 6 months apart or 3 months apart that we're going to be getting those chunks.
So I have recently heard the same thing online. So now we have 2 sources of unsubstantiated rumors about how the show's going to drop, which has convinced me slightly more.
Hell yeah. I don't even remember where I heard it from.
Maybe the same place I did.
Well, I mean, if we're going to get semi-consistent drops of JoJo Part 6, then I'm like super excited, because I'm going to end up binging the rest of what's out of Part 6 right now. And I mean, like, I'm only like 3 episodes in, and I really like it so far.
How do you like Jolene?
Jolene, she's it's definitely a fresh character type for a JoJo in JoJo. Having someone who's actually a jail inmate be the main character. That's just, it's weird, but it's interesting.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, have you guys seen those memes where they'll be like JoJo fans when they find out that the new main character is a girl, and they'll be like, "How am I supposed to jerk off to this?" Every time I see that, I fucking die, dude.
I always see those posts about how the creator of JoJo was like, "Oh yeah, no, I made the guys dress like super slutty on purpose."
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, I really like Jolene though. Have you met any of the Joe Bros yet?
Joe Bros, what do you mean?
Oh, you're unfamiliar with the term. So in the JoJo community, then the Joe Bros refer to people like Kakyoin, Polnareff, the Joe Bros. They're not the JoJos, they're the bros of the JoJos, the Joe Bros.
So in show, you're asking if I've seen any Joe Bros yet?
Yeah.
I think so, but
You sound like Jesse when we first started talking about
All right, who have you seen that you think might be the Joe Bros, or like some Joe Bros?
Okay, so first of all, the chick who like had money surgically implanted in her to sneak it in, I think that she's definitely a Joe Bro because I'm pretty sure she's also like in the intro.
I don't even remember seeing that. Who does that?
She's like a
Wait,
dark
are you being serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, that's actually a thing that happened.
She's the only other character in the manga for like 15 chapters.
Oh, Hermes.
Yeah, Hermes. That's
Okay.
her name. I forgot her name, so thanks.
I think it's pronounced slightly different or something in the show, but
Probably
Hermes Mora.
It's probably Hermes, right?
yeah.
Oh, Hermes. Yeah, that makes sense.
And then the chick who can make things small. I don't know if she is gonna be a Joe Bro, but I mean, with how some Joe Bros end up happening is they're an enemy at first, and then Jojo kicks the shit out of them, and they're friends.
Yeah, right.
That's true. That's true.
So yeah, those are the only two so far that I
Those are
think.
the only characters they've had so far?
So far that I can tell.
I can tell you right now that I won't say anything. I can tell you nothing.
That's confidential information.
I mean, like, yeah, as far as I've gotten in, Jotaro has shown up.
Oh, I guess Jotaro is technically a Joe Bro in this, which is hilarious.
How is that a thing?
He was also technically a Joe Bro in part 4.
Yeah, that's true. I remember that.
How is that a thing? Wait, does that mean that Joseph was a Joe Bro in part 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? How does this work?
Let me say right now that this is probably something that can be contested. You know, people might be like, he's not a Joe Bro, he's a JoJo.
Yeah.
But what I mean is he's accompanying the main JoJo with the Joe Bros, right? Wouldn't that make him a Joe Bro?
I would
I
say so.
guess, but so for me, like, I mean, obviously the show manga is called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but for me, it's all about like the struggles of the JoJo family, right?
Yeah.
So any JoJos are JoJos, and anybody who follows them are Joe Bros.
What about Giorno?
He's a JoJo.
Yeah, technically
Like,
he's
super-
a JoJo.
I mean, yeah, but he's not like part of their family, right? So
I mean,
technically he is though. Technically he's the son of Joseph. Or wait,
No, he's technically
Jonathan.
the son of
Jonathan. That's his name.
yeah.
Yeah, technically he's the son of Jonathan.
He's like the son of Jonathan and Dio,
Technically he's Jotaro's like grandpa.
like great uncle.
yeah, not grandpa.
Or yeah,
Great uncle.
Great uncle, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I mean, yeah. So
Dude, I bet Jotaro by the end of part 5, he's just like, you know, he's just like rubbing his temples, right? Because part 4 happens and he's like, okay, so technically you're my uncle. Like,
yeah, and then you got Giorno. Okay, well,
look.
getting a lot of new uncles.
So wait. So then, what are Giorno and Josuke to each other? Are they cousins?
Uncle and nephew.
No, I think they'd be cousins. No, wait. Okay, so Giorno is
If Giorno
Jonathan's
is Jonathan's
son,
right?
and Josuke is Joseph's son. That means that
Joseph is Jonathan's grandson.
Joseph is Giorno's nephew.
Uh-huh.
And so what is the son of your nephew? I don't know how that works.
That's like a some sort of cousin once removed or something.
I think it's cousin once removed.
Okay.
It's a complicated
Anyways.
family tree.
All right, let's Chip, give me your rankings for parts 1 through 6 really quick, and then we'll call it an intro.
Like all of them together or like each one individual?
What does that mean? I don't understand your question.
What order? Your top 6 JoJo parts.
From 1 through 6.
Okay, I see what you mean now. Okay. Okay, so I don't quite have enough experience with part 6 to really give it a ranking yet, so I'm gonna leave it out.
That's fair.
But I will go part 5, part 4, part 3, No. I forgot.
Part 2, Part 1.
Part 2 is too good. So part 5, part 2.
Ooh.
Part 4, part 3, part 1.
I respect it.
I want to say that for the first 5 parts, that is also my exact ranking. Wait, no. Sorry. Part 2, part 5. Yeah. So it's a swap 5 and 2.
Okay. Yeah,
but
yeah.
where do you put 6 if you had to rank it right now?
If I had to rank it right now, I
You
would
definitely don't have enough information to properly rank this right now, and I'm going to make you do it anyway.
I'd have to throw part 6 just above part 1 right now.
Okay.
You know, from my experience with how far it sounds like you are in the arc, I would have to agree with that probably.
You would put it just above part 1?
Yeah.
Oh.
Not above part 3 because again, I definitely don't have enough experience with part 6 to put it above part 3 yet. So
Honestly, I would put part 6 on par with part 5 for me. It's tough. I change my mind often about whether I like 6 or 5 better.
But you've also finished part 6.
Yes.
So
yeah, I'm 3 episodes in, and I'm only going to be 12 episodes in until more releases. So
That's true.
yeah.
ironically, where I'm at, I think I would put part 6 in the middle of my list. So we've got the full spectrum here.
Nice. And with that, we haven't even talked about what we're talking about. And with that, please enjoy the episode as we continue to tell you what that is right now. But real quick, before that, I just want to say once again, it's so good to have you back, Chip. I feel like, like Jesse and I, we have pretty good conversations normally, but we have missed you so much. There's a hole, there's a chip-sized hole in my heart that you fill on this podcast. I missed you a lot.
I missed you guys too, but it still sounded funny, and I can't help but laugh.
The boys are back in town. The
Boys are back in town. I didn't sing that right at all. I'm sorry.
So we're gonna be watching a movie, a pretty famous. I don't know anything about this movie, and with that,
See, you don't know anything about it either.
This movie's so famous, we don't know anything about it.
so join us mere seconds from now, after our little jingle plays, as we talk about Tokyo Godfathers. Tokyo Godfathers is a 2003 film directed by famous Japanese anime film director Satoshi Kon.
I've never heard of this guy.
Chip, you live under a rock.
You might have heard of his work such as Muso Dairinin or Paranoia Agent.
He also worked on Paprika and Perfect Blue.
Okay, I have seen Paprika, and I really like that movie. It's fucking wild.
So I've never seen Paranoia Agent. I've never seen Paprika. I've never seen Perfect Blue. This is my first experience with Satoshi Kon's work.
So, what do you think of Satoshi Kon?
This movie was fucking awesome. Honestly, like,
Hell yeah.
this was a great movie.
This movie was so good.
It was really good. It reminded me of like Studio Ghibli stuff, but like not.
It's like Studio Ghibli for adults.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so for anybody unfamiliar with this movie, just to give a quick rundown, it's basically about 3 Japanese homeless people who find a baby on Christmas. And it's about them on an adventure to return this baby to its mother. And what a fucking adventure it is.
Shit goes down.
Okay, let me tell you real quick something that like this is obviously like one of the major themes of the movie, right? But I feel like this is something that a lot of movies do, and it's usually like makes me feel less involved, like, oh, this isn't realistic. But this one leans into it so much that it's a theme, and that's the concept of coincidence, right? The concept of what's the like the divine interventions or whatever, right? Like,
Yeah.
at every single turn, the Japanese word they use is guzen. Guzen meaning chance or coincidence or things like that, right?
Mm.
And luck, whatever you want to call that.
Yeah.
But every single thing in this movie that happens is so close, right? You go somewhere, you see someone. Everything connects to everything. You move out of the way, a truck hits a thing, right? Like everything was connected to something. And it was all around this idea that this baby was like a Christmas miracle.
Yeah.
And it's a character driven film, right? So we got the four main characters if you count the baby as well.
Yeah.
Baby who is named Kyoko. We never learned the name other than that, and I think that's intentional.
Yeah.
They wanted the character to be Kyoko, right?
Righto.
So the other three main characters being Hana, who is an okama, is the word in Japanese that they use, but it's usually just like an over stereotyped transgender person.
Yeah.
From before transgender people were like more accepted in society.
Yeah. 03, you know.
Yeah, in 2003. Rough time for trans people. We got Gin, a man down on his luck literally, but kind of put himself there.
Yeah.
And we got, what was the girl's name? Miyuki, a runaway.
Runaway who
She ran so far away.
friggin' stabbed her dad.
So all we know at the start of this film, right, is we know...
Well, we kind of get a little story from everybody.
Yeah, we get just a little glimpse. All we know is Miyuki's a runaway, that Hana is an okama, and that Gin had some bad luck. And that's literally all we know, right?
Yeah.
Gin is using a story saying that his daughter was killed from an unknown, like an uncurable illness, and then his wife went soon after. And then he was like, well, I just became homeless after that.
Suddenly, all of a sudden, I was homeless. Damn.
So I really, really like that, like, this movie touches on a lot of serious topics while keeping a serious tone, but also having a lot of comedic moments in it.
Yeah. I think it does a very good job of blending the comedy into the serious parts, making it more of a flow than a change of tone.
Yeah, absolutely.
See, normally when movies try to do that, they don't do a good job to me, so I lose kind of interest and I end up looking at my phone a lot. They managed to blend it just right, so I was able to just have my eyes glued to the screen the whole time.
Yeah, this movie was only an hour and a half, and goddamn did a lot of stuff happen.
Yeah, really.
Oh my god.
I don't want to, a lot of the time you'll either be like, whoa, it's over already, or you'll be like, man, that movie took forever. But like, honestly, this was only an hour and a half, and so many things happened that it felt longer, but I still enjoyed it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It didn't feel too long, but it felt like it was a long movie.
Right, yeah. If you told me this was 2.5 hours, I would have believed you.
Yeah. I mean, we had to pause while we were watching it at one point, and we're like 30 minutes in, and we see this, and Adam goes, "Whoa, I thought we were at the climax."
I thought it was almost over, dude.
This was a good example of proper pacing with also lots of excitement. Because we look at other animes, usually just like series or something like My Hero Academia, and the pacing's really off. A lot of stuff happens sometimes, but also like nothing happens for like 10 episodes. I guess that happens with a lot of shonens, but this movie, nah, we didn't have that problem.
Yeah, usually a lot of the time you'll have like build up. Like we can even talk about the third My Hero Academia movie that we saw recently, if you want to use My Hero Academia as an example, right? Most of the movie was set up. It was mostly build up for a finale. This was just like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, dude, you're in a boxing ring, dude, and it's just hit after hit, and you're going down.
You're going down in an earlier round
than you thought you would. It's kind of wild because it's like a lot of anime movies, especially other movies too from different areas of the world too. I feel like you can just kind of predict the flow, right? They have a generic, they got the setup, they got the rising action, they got the major conflict, they've got the comeback arc, and then they have the climax and resolution. It's kind of a pretty generic lineup. But this movie, it was just like a plateau the whole time. It was like, here's some setup and bang, bang, here we go. Let's climax, new thing, new climax, new thing. New climax is like, what is, huh? How many issues are you going to solve?
I just love that, like, everywhere they went, new things were happening, right? And this whole time, like, the movie, I would say that while it's presented as like an adventure film, it's also just mysteries unfolding throughout it, right?
Yeah.
Even to up until the point, like, a lot of the time it's like, they get the key, they open the locker, they find some stuff in the locker. The key was with the baby. So they find the baby, they use the key to open a locker. They find some stuff. It gives them information and another key to find something else, right? They keep doing this until they find the baby's mother only to find out that she stole the baby from the hospital and wasn't the mother in the first place. Like, the mystery never ends.
It literally did not end until the end. And then it was over very fast.
Yeah.
And they left some stuff open-ended, right? So Miyuki's whole adventure was about her running away from her father because her father did something with her cat, right? Her cat Angel.
Yeah.
And so she stabbed him.
That's a normal response.
Yeah, exactly. Totally. You kill my cat, I'm gonna stab you.
I mean, yeah, but like, he ended up putting in the newspaper saying Angel has come home, you know?
Yeah.
So if that is correct, and then I think they'd leave it open for interpretation on purpose, but if that is correct, then the cat just ran away for a little while.
Yeah.
Or maybe they gave it up to a shelter, and then he was like, this cat is literally tearing my family apart. I guess I'll just go get the cat back.
Right. You know, there's any number of things that could happen. Mieruko-chan taught me a lot about
Cats.
don't trust, don't judge a book by its cover when it comes to cats, because instead of killing cats, they might be saving them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen that anime.
Did you watch it?
I didn't watch all of it, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, you don't, but
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
What?
That episode that you're talking about was build up for the rest of the series.
Right? Uh-huh. Yeah.
Anyways, Miyuki's whole story was really interesting to me because, like, the other two characters, they had like background conflicts going on, right?
Yeah.
This was stuff that they've been needing to sort out for years. But Miyuki's conflict was like directly in her life. This is something recent, you know?
Yeah.
And so when the trains are passing by each other and her dad sees her and she's just like, oh, fuck. It's such a good moment. And especially because I think the fact that they didn't tell us everybody's backstory, I mean, not their real backstory.
Yeah.
They held a lot of information from us on purpose because it keeps you interested. We're constantly finding out new things about these characters, even to the point where with Gin, they literally lied.
Yeah. The whole setup was a lie.
I love that they call Gin out on it too, right? Because the moment where Hana calls Gin out on it, it also feels like that was a release point for the audience, because this whole time we're led to believe that, you know, Gin is a sympathetic character, that
he's got a tragic backstory.
Yeah, and then it just turns out that he sucks, and then, you know, like there's a moment where he's talking to his daughter for the first time in, I mean, probably 25 years, right?
Yeah.
And there's this like somber moment where they're getting to know each other for a second, and then Hana, she just jumps up and she's like, you know what? Fuck you, dude.
Right.
That's such a good moment because it's like, yeah, this is your fault. You're a dick.
Oh man. And I love too that the show is direct without being direct, right? Because it's like they couldn't have pulled off lying about Gin's backstory if it wasn't Gin lying about his backstory, right?
Right, yeah.
Like, you can't weave a narrative plot around the narrator deceiving about your character. I guess you could, but it would kind of be a really shitty plot device. And because of who Gin is, to stay true to his character, he's just going to keep lying. So he's not going to put any of that on the table. There'd be no release there. So we get the release of all his lives, and the characters in the show themselves get the information they wouldn't have gotten otherwise from somebody else in his group. So they just literally drop all of exactly what happened to us indirectly.
Yeah, exactly. Another great thing is the name Kyoko. Kyoko is what Hana decides this baby's name is, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And Gin immediately, you know, gets taken aback by that. He's like, why Kyoko? And she's like, what's the problem with Kyoko? Is it, you know, ex-girlfriend or something? And he's like, whatever, keep the name. And we come to find out that his daughter is named Kyoko. But even before that, the man who the loan shark that he borrowed money from was marrying a girl also named Kyoko.
Yeah, that was
man.
Funny, dude.
Just like everywhere he goes, Kyoko's everywhere.
I'm gonna get reminded about my daughter every single day of my life, and I'm gonna regret everything about leaving her.
I mean, I guess you can say he did regret it, but like if he actually regretted it, would he have been on the streets for 25 years?
No, not really. I think, while he regretted it, I think he felt like in his twisted logic that was the best situation too.
Right, yeah. Because he had a wife he could have gone back to.
Yeah. I mean, they even said, Kyoko said that her and his wife, her mom, had been looking for him for years. Like, they obviously wanted him around, even though he was a complete fuck up.
Right, exactly.
Damn, he had a great family, and he just threw that away.
I believe by the end of the film, it kind of leads you to believe that Miyuki's going to go home, that Hana is going to go back to be with her mother,
Yeah.
quote unquote.
Yeah.
Some kind of adopted mother, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then Gin is going to try to reconcile with his family. That's kind of the mood that it leaves off on.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, yeah.
But they all could just go right back to being on the streets.
Yeah, who knows?
We don't know.
It's tough. Maybe they use their newfound stardom, their homeless person stardom, to build a new homeless person city.
Well, Gin, they make a really big point throughout the whole movie that he's bad at gambling, that he loses money when he gambles.
True.
But he got the winning lottery ticket.
He did, yeah. He got the rarest set of numbers. All his luck went into those numbers. And with that money, they never expressly stated what his debts were, but with as much money he won from that lotto, he could probably pay off his debts and go back and try to start anew with his family.
I do like the part when he finds out that the loan shark lived, and he's kind of like, he was like, oh, that's nice. But you could tell he was kind of like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, yeah. He was like, damn, well, that's nice, honey.
Oh, I'm glad he lived. Oh.
Just real quick with the lotto ticket, though, he totally got that from that dying old guy.
Did he?
Yeah, that was the dying old guy. Remember when he said, take this, if people find out I have it, it's gonna be trouble.
Oh.
Yeah, and then he gave him the lotto. I think he gave him a bag, and the bag had the lotto ticket in it.
Yeah, yeah. At the end of the movie, we saw the bag like kind of spilled over, and the lotto ticket was sticking out.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Dude, see, and there's just so much going on in this movie. I just didn't catch everything, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's like literally everything that happens in this movie happens for a reason, and it's all connected. Literally everything.
Did you guys catch why the ambulance crashed?
I still don't know why the ambulance crashed.
I feel like there's got to be a reason. And I'm pretty sure it was the ambulance that had the old guy in it.
Yo, I think you might be right.
I like when the ambulance crashes and then the guy gets out of the ambulance and says, call an ambulance.
Yeah, dude, that scene was so great. I love how there's like that. It's this big rush. Like the ambulance, like it crashes. This thing is high speed. We get like a glimpse of this ambulance just slamming into the store that everybody is outside of. Is this big, explosive, exciting moment. And then it's just still and quiet for like at least a minute. Everybody just stands there in shock. And then the door like creaks open and this dude just kind of stumbles out and he's like, oh, call an ambulance.
He's so polite about it too.
Yeah.
I think this whole movie was a constant cycle of tension, momentum, and release, right?
Yeah.
There's like constantly things just go and stop and go and stop.
See, I feel like this movie was a really great example of how just because one thing is happening in your life doesn't mean other things aren't happening in everyone else's life at the exact same time, you know?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
There's always moving parts.
Yeah, exactly. Like when Hana was about to cross the street with Kyoko, but then she like stopped and turned around and then that truck just like zooms by. It would have totally hit Hana and killed them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Or you're talking about the ambulance?
No, not the ambulance. It was a bit earlier in the movie, like right after they found Kyoko, basically.
Okay, yeah. And with the ambulance that did crash, like if Gin hadn't picked a fight with the drunk dude in the store and them gone outside to tussle, then they would have gotten killed when the ambulance hit the store.
Exactly.
Yeah. If you think about it, them being homeless saved them on multiple occasions.
I also just love, I like I said, this is the first work of Satoshi Kon that I've ever seen, but I've seen clips from some of the other stuff, and I love the way his art style works. I know he's just the director. I don't know how much, of the drawing he does, but in the movies that he's directed, the anime characters look more realistic than other animes. You know what I mean? Yeah.
He's a very, realistic, I guess is the way to put it. it's much more akin to like, it's almost a Western style of animation, right? It's obviously Japanese, it's obviously anime, but it feels like it has some really heavy influence from traditional art styles.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, that's something I heavily agree with.
I'm glad to hear it.
Wow, very nice.
And it kind of goes back to when I brought up earlier about how, and Adam totally clarified this. This is basically like Studio Ghibli, but for like adults.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh man, I can't wait to watch any of the other movies, like especially Paprika and Perfect Blue. Those are both movies that I've heard are incredible. Paprika's a movie, right?
Yeah, Paprika is a movie. It's exclusively on YouTube though, and you have to pay for it. So
That's fine. I'm just making sure I'm not an idiot. It's exclusively on YouTube, Jesse says as he opens his application.
Pulls out phone.
let's see about that.
We're implying nothing. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I
What?
don't know.
Huh? No. So, on Chip's note about how, even with the things going on in one person's life, there's still a lot of stuff going on in the background. Everybody else is living their life too. I think one really good example we get of this is Gein's whole fake but somehow real story about being a cyclist.
Right.
It's like it in itself is a mini story inside this big story, because he starts off with the lie that he was like a professional racer of some kind. And then we learn that actually he just owned a bike store. But then we end the movie with him riding a bike as hardcore as he can to save a baby and be the hero.
Absolutely. And the rest of the story that he told turned out to be somebody else's life. That was the doctor that his daughter was going to marry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, it's so wild. That's so cool. Like, that is some incredible storytelling right there.
The reason this movie is so good, in my opinion, is because every moment is an aha moment. Everything that happens makes you feel smart for remembering things that happened before. And that's on the movie for reminding you of those things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're so blatant about it that you just can't not remember these important moments.
So every time anything happens, you're like, I am a genius.
Oh, you know what? I think this is an example of what we were just talking about, but Hana and Miyuki, they walk past Sachiko, the baby thief, about to jump off the bridge, to kill herself.
Right.
But then a little bit later, we have Gein talking to her husband, and her husband's like, oh yeah, she said she was going to go to be with her baby. And then Gein's like, what? She's going to go and kill herself? Why didn't you stop her? And then it's like, oh, well, that's kind of...
No, yeah, you're right, because I didn't even think about that, right? Because, I assumed when he said she wanted to go be with her baby, then in my head, I was thinking about the baby that she stole. But yeah, she totally meant the miscarriage.
Yeah. Which is crazy because she does go find the baby that she stole. So they're both right on both fronts. It's all right. Nothing wrong happened.
I want to say that I think, honestly, the least interesting character ended up being Hana, I think. And I loved Hana's whole, getting trans representation in 2003 is great in general. And a character that's genuinely, trans instead of, I know they play it up a lot like a joke, because that's how Japan does that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But the character herself, I feel like, is really good representation.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that because, in Japan, too, the trans culture and the drag culture really crossed harder than it did in, well, I can really only speak for the States, so than in America. But considering those factors and the time that it came out in, it was from a character standpoint, from a personal how they thought, how they worked, it was an astoundingly good representation.
And I really, really like Hana, probably the best character in the film, in my opinion. But then Hana's story was mostly she got embarrassed and left.
Yeah, but we also do learn that she was a foster child who was pushed between homes and never had a family.
Oh, that's true. You're right.
And so for her to feel like she'd dishonored her family so heavily that she had to walk out and never come back, I thought was pretty heavy, though maybe not the most emotionally pulling for the audience unless you'd been in that kind of situation yourself.
Right.
Well, I feel like maybe back in 2003 in Japan, maybe that's a thing that was more common.
Yeah, that could have been a bigger issue back then.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know nothing about how Japan's socialness was back then, or at all, to be honest.
Yeah, the early 2000s was the crash of their bubble economy, right? So, you know, a lot of people falling on some hard times, kids being put in foster homes would make sense.
Yeah, that does make sense.
You know, it's kind of interesting with all of their backstories. They all had, you know, each one of the three main characters, they had such different, diverse backstories, but it all kind of boiled down to the same thing. They all did something they really regretted, and then they ran away from their family.
Actually, yeah, that's absolutely true.
Kind of wild, huh?
Well, when you put it as simple as that.
No, but like literally, all three of them did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Miyuki stabbed someone, got embarrassed and left. Hana freaked out on a customer, got embarrassed and left. And Gin was a drunk and lost all of his money, got embarrassed and left.
True.
Yeah.
You know, another thing I want to touch on with Gin in particular, and actually it's not really touching on the character, but like something that I'm going to give props to the movie. Anime loves to get people drunk and then pretend you can like slap somebody sober. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Gin drinks a whole bottle while they're in the cemetery, and then he's fucked up for the rest of the film.
Yeah. This guy continues to not be sober until the very end of the film when he's in a hospital being forced to be sober.
He was also like the hero of the story.
Yeah.
So, like this man, while fully intoxicated, reconciled with his daughter and chased a truck and a bicycle. So
You know, maybe he wouldn't have been able to do that if it wasn't for the liquor. Right? He had that liquid courage.
yeah, man.
Oh, man, keep in mind, this is also after he got the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, man, he got whipped hard too. Ooh, that was a kind of a horrifying scene, to be honest.
Yeah, that's like, man, if Inuyashiki has taught me anything, it's that apparently this is a problem in Japan where sometimes street punks just beat up homeless people.
Is that like the whole like interpretation, like the millennial thing, right? Oh, these damn millennials, right? You know, but in Japan, the Japan's version of these damn millennials.
I don't know. Being a serial killer is very different.
That's true. I wasn't necessarily talking about the serial killers, but
If you go kill homeless people, you're
Okay.
still a serial killer.
Well, I suppose, yeah. There's you know, serial killers who do their thing and they have their MO and they kill a lot of people, and then there's a group of punks who roam around and like beat people with sticks. I just feel like that's a little different.
It maybe depends how far they go.
Yeah, I guess so.
Look, I'm just saying, in America, if I saw someone beating on a homeless person, I would kick the shit out of him.
Yeah. If I saw anybody beating up anybody, I'd have some words to say.
You'd beat them up and then you'd beat yourself up because you beat them up.
Oh, fuck. So I'd be fighting somebody, and then Chip would see me fighting somebody, like just kicking the shit out of him, and then he'd beat the shit out of me. And then Jesse would see Chip beating the shit out of me, and he'd beat the shit out of Chip.
Oh boy.
And this brings us to our final section of anything we ever do, where we try to give something a rating. And I don't know why, because ratings don't matter at all, but my brain really likes ratings. So we're going to go ahead and do that.
This is the part of the show where the ratings don't matter and our opinion sucks.
Hey, but you should listen anyway.
If you agree with us, fuck you.
If you disagree with us, good for you.
Nice. You have good taste.
Way to think for yourself.
Chip,
Yes.
what do you think of this movie?
Let's see. I'll toss it around in my head a little bit. Give it a little juggle. Yada yada. Why are you grabbing that sword? Oh my god.
What do you think of this movie, Chip?
I think I could probably give it a solid 7.5 out of 10.
Solid.
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 Jesse, what did you give this movie? Also, Chip, you fucked up. 7.5 what out of 10?
You right. You right.
He hasn't been here in a while. he forgot how we do things.
I give it 7.5. I give it 7.5 bike chasing a truck out of 10.
Nice.
Nice.
I don't know how half a bike chases a truck, but I'd love to see. It's like 7 bikes and a unicycle, right? Jesse.
Well, I'm going to give this movie a very solid 9 ambulances crashing into convenience stores out of 10. I love this movie. I think it's amazing. I think anybody can watch this movie. I think this is a movie that anybody can watch and take something away from and enjoy. The only thing I hated was it's from 2003 and the sound mixing when any music started was god awful and the music was fucking loud for no reason.
Oh man, it reminded me like sometimes, you know, my roommates, they go to sleep a lot earlier than I do, and when I'm playing video games, you turn your console off, and then sometimes the TV goes to cable afterwards, and like the cable is just so much fucking louder than the game I was playing. So I'll have it at like, you know, like 15 volume, right? Which is perfectly fine for video games. But then cable comes on, and it's always the news, and they'll be like, yeah, this guy did this thing. And I'm like, whoa, Jesus Christ. So I'm like scrambling to grab the remote and turn the TV down before I wake up my roommate. That's every single time there was no talking and the music came on in this movie. I was like, why are you loud? Stop that. I think this was a great movie. I think that I love how everything links together. If I had one complaint, it's that the mafia stuff kind of fell through. Like they had like the loan shark gangster stuff, and then, you know, we had a random guy come in and shoot, and then the only explanation we got for that was, hey, there's some gang violence going on. You know, and it feels like that should have maybe, like, if you're gonna put that in, maybe make it a little bigger or have like a B plot or something going on that links it back in. But other than that one small thing, I think everything else in this movie was fucking phenomenal. And I had no idea what this movie was going in. For that story, Jesse and I were like, oh shit, we haven't picked anything. This is 2 nights ago. We're like, we haven't figured it out. We've been given one suggestion by Chip, who said, let's watch the entirety of Mushoku Tensei, of which I've watched one episode. Jesse's watched Zero. And Chip's watched the whole thing, and I was like, I don't think I can make it happen, dude. And so we're trying to figure out what to watch, and we're hanging out with our buddy Alex, and Alex is just like, we're like, Alex, recommend a movie. He was like, here's some movies I've got on my list of movies to watch for anime movies. I was like, cool. He named the first one. It was Red Line. I wasn't that interested.
Yeah, Adam was like, is that a car movie? And I said, well, technically. And he said, no.
I will probably watch Red Line at some point.
Never.
The next movie, he said, was Tokyo Godfathers. And I was like, what's that one about? And he said, it's directed by Satoshi Kon. And I said, say no more.
It has been decided.
And then he said no more. And I knew nothing about this movie except for the name of it until we watched it. I did not know what I was watching. And it was incredible. So accounting for my one complaint, I think I'm going to give it 8.5 Christmas babies out of 10. Also did not know this was a Christmas film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had very minor limited knowledge when I was looking for where we could watch this movie on. I read a little bit of the synopsis, still had no idea it was a Christmas movie.
We're like, oh, dude, perfect. Christmas just happened.
Wait, does that make this our Christmas special?
This is our Christmas special. We decided that right now.
Wow. Thanks, everybody, for listening to our Christmas special.
I'm glad you could join us for this wonderful, wonderful Christmas special.
That happened after New Year's.
Shut up.
We definitely watched it before Christmas and recorded this before.
This is not being recorded on January 9th, 2022.
Yeah, that day hasn't even happened yet.
Can you believe it's 2022 already?
Damn, I can't believe it's still just 2021 and we're recording this the day after Christmas.
Dude, I thought it was 2020 still. I was like, what happened? Anyways, that puts this ranked at our number one movie that we watched today.
Okay, I guess that makes sense.
I've got nothing else to rank it against.
You're not wrong. That doesn't mean you should have said it.
We should probably have an Excel spreadsheet with all of our rankings.
That might be smart.
So thank you all for joining us for our Christmas bonus episode about this wonderful Satoshi Kon film that we all enjoyed very much, except for Chip, who rated it as a C.
Yeah, so?
Just kidding.
Look, next time we'll do Paprika.
You heard it here first, folks. Next time we'll do paprika.
Shit, I shouldn't have said that. I can't make promises on the podcast.
All right, thank you all for joining us. Next week we'll be back for the first episode of our new winter 2022 season. We've decided on a few of our shows. You can check our Twitter bio if you want to see what those are. I mean, by the time, yeah, we don't know what else we're watching, but
We got a lot of great stuff coming to you. It's gonna be a banger. Chip's back. It's a new year. Let's go.
big announcements next week. Stay tuned.
Ja, matane.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of Recasters Anime Podcast. We hope you had as much fun as we did.
Feel free to check us out on Facebook. We post anime-related memes there almost daily. Let us know what you think of the current anime season, or even just say hi.
You can look forward to weekly releases every Tuesday morning on platforms like Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. Tune in next week for more anime discussion.
Ja, mata raishu!